Happy Saturday, happy Saturday. Welcome back. It's been a long time. I know. I'm sorry. I left you guys on hold forever and a day, and that's my bad. So trying to figure out the way forward with the podcast, trying to figure out the best avenue. I do have all my new equipment. I have set up most of it. So once everything is completely set up the way I want it, we'll get back upstairs in the studio. But sometimes I also want to change it up. I want to be in different locations, show y'all different parts of the house. Y'all know one of our last episodes, we were out in the backyard interviewing my daughter. So today I wanted to give y'all a different view, not just up in the studio. But yeah, so welcome back. We're here. Happy freaking Saturday. We are already almost through the month of April, which is crazy. Time has just been going by way too fast. Way too fast. So for those that don't know, my oldest child is a senior. He is about to graduate. Tonight he has prom. So today's episode is just talking about life as a mom, because sometimes it can be hard. It can be difficult. So I want some of my other mothers out there, hopefully you can relate. And if you don't, maybe you make me feel like I ain't completely crazy when it comes to motherhood and what it's like. Having two teenagers could be a lot, especially one is a senior, one is a freshman. And when you have female children that are in their teenage years, it could be a lot. So yeah, that's what it is right now. It's the struggles of being a parent. And so I'm excited and sad at the same time because my son will be off to college in the fall. But I'm excited for him because now he gets to experience life and see what it's like, and everything that we taught him, he gets to put it into execution. And see, everything that we said wasn't just to say it, because now he's got to do for himself and figure out life. But I have concerns, as any mom would, especially for their sons, going out into the world by themselves and trying to figure out what life is like. But at the same time, I know my son is going to do amazing things because we raised him right. We taught him right. We gave him all the tools that he needs to be successful in life. I made it a point, my kids are biracial. So that already makes it a little bit tougher for them because they have one side of the community that says you're black, and then the other side says you're not black enough. So it always is, going to be something different from, one side of the community to the other. And so with my son, I always made it a point to not only instill discipline in him, manners, respect for himself, respect for others, respect on how he treats women, but just making sure that he understands that no matter what he's doing in life, he is a product of me and his father. So, pushing that into him at an early age to make sure he understands the importance of everything that he does, is a reflection of us. So he's going to do great, though. He's going off to do cybersecurity. Something that he enjoys doing. He's already been doing classes that goes towards college and high school for cybersecurity, and he loves it. So I'm excited that he's going to do something that he actually wants to do and is excited about doing. But yeah, I'm just also at the same time, fearful as a mom because we live in the South, and he's a black male. Regardless of how light-skinned he may be, he's still a black male at the end of the day. And, things happen. And so, worst nightmares is that something happens to him when he's off in college. But I know that my son is a good kid and that he's going to do the right thing and always try to put himself in good situations just based off of what we taught him. So, that's just, a constant thought or concern as a mother. But, I know he's going to be great and do great things because we taught him well. But then when it comes to my daughter, she's just starting out in high school. You know, she's just now figuring out what high school life is like, and, you know, going through the hormones, and you know how teenage girls are, start to smell themselves and get mouthy and lippy. And then they also have a different set of challenges growing up in this generation, because social media has made them, it's exposed them to a lot more than we were exposed to when we were in high school, right? Because now everything is at their fingertips. They can go Google and look up anything and learn about anything. So we try, I would say at a very young age, we had a lot of conversations with them, direct conversations about things that probably our parents didn't have with us. But it's because they have the cheese and rice, words are hard, availability to go out and find these things on their own. We wanted to make sure that a lot of the information they were getting were coming from us first before they saw it somewhere. So we were always very vocal and communicative with them as they were growing up, trying to instill a lot of the morals and important things that we cared about with them at a young age, and teaching them about things at a young age. That way they weren't learning from their friends or from the internet. But at the same time, there's still a lot of stuff that I feel like they know more than us in some respects, because of the way that they are able to go search things on their own. But yeah, having a teenage daughter as a mother can be a struggle. And I know I talked to a lot of other parents out there, especially moms, about what they go through and some of the challenges they deal with when it comes to raising girls. So I know I'm not alone in a lot of the struggles that I go through with her, but just knowing that you're not by yourself is helpful. And I wish I had a support group of moms that had girls going through this. Like one of my best friends that lives here, she has a daughter that's also a freshman. She has 3 girls and a son. So she's already experienced some of this with her oldest daughter. Her middle daughter really doesn't challenge her as much. And then I'm sure she, you know, kind of goes through some of the similar stuff with the youngest. So having her around and being able to talk to her and bounce some of the struggles that I deal with her is great. But sometimes I really wish I had like a circle of moms that I could just sit down and we could just have coffee dates and talk about some of these, you know, these things. Because I think it would be helpful. Because sometimes I feel alone in the struggles that I deal with her. Because she gives my husband problems, but she don't give him the same energy that she gives me, you know. And I know some of it is because we're a lot alike, and so we bump heads. But this generation, you know, they feel entitled. They feel like they shouldn't have to do chores, or they shouldn't have to whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's not how that works. You don't have a job. You live in my house rent-free. You always want to go somewhere and do something, so that needs my money. So you should be contributing to this household in some form or fashion. And she can't process that. She don't understand that. I'm like, if you even came close to dealing with the way we grew up, you wouldn't survive. You wouldn't make it. And she's just like, you know, very combative when it comes to a lot of that stuff. But I know also what I go through is nowhere near as bad as some other parents. Some other parents have it worse. Their kids, you know, bow up on them and want to swing on them. I wish the motherfucker would. I wish she would. Because I'm going to go to jail that day. That's all I'm going to say. Because, no, we're not going to do that. The difference is like, I know when I was in high school, I was a lot. I was mouthy. I probably gave my mom problems, but I can tell you right now, nowhere near what I get. Because I knew where the line was. I knew there were certain things you didn't say and do. You didn't cross those lines, because I wouldn't have no teeth today had I ever thought about saying half the shit my kid says. And I would say it's my fault. It's 100% my fault. I take that L because with my son, we were hard on him. We gave him discipline. We made sure he understood that he was going to be a valuable member to society. And we did some of that with her, but not enough. Not enough. Not enough. Because she was a girl. You know what I mean? So I was a little bit softer on her. Mainly because my mom was very hard on me. I was also my mom's first kid, and my mom was still trying to figure it out. So I give my mom a lot of kudos and thank you, to how she was with me. But at the same time, sometimes I felt like it was a lot. It was a little too much. But looking back now on it, I'm like, that shit was top notch. I deserved every bit of that. Because when I look at my kid, I'll be like, girl, if I even thought about. Yeah, so a lot of that is on me. I should have been tougher on her and pushed her a little more. But what I will say is I don't ever have to worry about her grades because that girl will be her own worst enemy when it comes to, she does not want anything below a B. She will push herself and get. I will also say that this generation does suffer a lot with anxiety because of the mental pressures that they put on themselves. Number one, when it comes to grades, when it comes to fitting in, when it comes to, what they feel like they have to, standards they have to meet, not only for themselves that they set, but for society, because social media has made it that way. It has put so much unnecessary pressure and stress on these kids. And we tried to keep them away from all of that for a long time. And then at the same time, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to keep them away from that stuff forever. I just would monitor, how they use it and when they're on it. And now that they're in high school, I kind of pulled back on that. But at the same time, child. But I think me and my husband do a good job at, trying to work with each other on how we parent them. It can still be a struggle because we definitely have different parenting styles. But at the same time, we also still have similar parenting styles. So we just have to work together on how we balance each other out and work together to basically get to the point we need to be with them. And I say we did an amazing job with our son. And I hear every day from somebody about how great both of my kids are. They're well-mannered. They're so kind. They think of others, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but I wish they was like that at home. Well, my son is. But at the same time, he can be a lot too. He can be mouthy. But he be thinking he funny. He thinks he's a comedian. He's a jokester is what he thinks he is. And that's just typical teenage boys as well. Like, I'm looking forward to graduation, but at the same time, I'm not, right? Because I'm like, time has just gone by too fast. I look at pictures of him when he was a baby and when he was little big head, moon pie face baby. And then now he is this handsome young man who's about to go live life and do amazing things. So it could be a challenge for me as his mom, looking at him knowing that, he's about to go into the world on his own. But we also have to allow him to go and do things and make mistakes and figure it out. Nobody is going to be perfect. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be challenges that he goes through. And we just got to be there to support him through those things. Same thing for, my daughter. Like, she's going to make mistakes while she's still here. And we just got to be there and support her when she needs it. But I feel like she hasn't really been challenged yet. I feel like something's going to happen that's going to knock her on her ass, and then she's going to figure it out. But they will both say I'm probably too protective of them, but that's also because I've, have issues and things that I went through as a kid that I try to, protect them from and cover them from. Because when I was in elementary school, I was molested by someone that my mom trusted to take care of me and to be there and to watch me when she was working 2 and 3 jobs to take care of me, and she felt like this family could take care of me and help her and watch me because we lived in the same, complex. And the son used that as the opportunity to take advantage of the situation. So that was in elementary school, you know what I mean? That I was first exposed to trauma. And then also raped twice in high school, and a third time once I joined the military at my first duty station. So when I say trauma, I mean trauma, and I try to protect them from experience those things. And that's not it. There was more stuff that happened, throughout my life. Even, the times I deployed and went through stuff in deployments and lost friends. And so I've been through a lot, and I still stand to tell my story and to, share with other people to keep them from, going through the same struggles I did. And so I try to do that with my kids. And my daughter especially feels like maybe I'm smothering her with my motherhood. But realistically, I just don't want her to ever have to go through any of the shit I went through. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. Not one. And there's some people that I don't hate anybody. Not even the people that caused me the trauma. But I still wouldn't wish any of my experiences on any of them. Because, that's stuff you don't get that back. Once you lose that part of yourself, you can't get it back. You may get a different part of you. You may grow and become a better version of you or a stronger version of you because of those experiences, but you will never get that part of yourself back. And I just don't want my babies to have to go through any of that. So yes, I can be a little protective, especially protective of their hearts because, I trusted too many people and allowed too many people to be within my circle. And that's probably why I'm so closed off and don't really fuck with too many people now. I stay to myself, and I'm very particular about who I associate with or who I'm around, because in one of those situations, I trusted my friends to have my best interests at hand. I told them I didn't feel good, didn't want to go to this person's house. No, we got to go and you'll be okay. You can go lay down. We know you don't feel good, but we just don't want to go without you. And I really felt like they set me up and put me in that situation. That may not be the case. They may just really wanted me to be there, but still, you put me in a situation where this happened. When I said I didn't want to be there, I didn't want to go. Something didn't feel right about going. And then, that situation happened, and then they turned their back on me and took the side of the people that were there versus my side, and y'all are supposed to be my best friends. But y'all put me in this situation, and then you turn your backs on me. This is also why I tell my kids to choose their friends wisely, because not everybody is your friend. You may have people that you think that are your friend that are really jealous of you and want what you have. And because they can't have what you have, they find a way to take advantage of you or, your kindness. Could be like what, happened to me. I don't know if they were jealous of me. I don't know if there was a reason to what happened. Like, I will never know. And I will never sit down and talk to these girls and ask them these questions. because I just have no desire or want. And we live in the same place. I will never sit down and chop it up with them to ask them what happened, because I don't give a fuck at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I'm too old to try and figure out what was your mindset. What did you think you were doing? You weren't my friend. There's no way you were my friend if you thought that situation was a good situation for me to be in, and then you turn your back on me. But yet, years later, you want to hit me up and ask me for money and shit? Nah, bro, I ain't got nothing for you. Not a damn thing. Can't help you. But those situations taught me a lot about myself. It taught me about my strength and my resilience and my grit and what I'm capable of going through and getting through and still standing tall. And so I just try to use that as a tool to teach my kids, and to even the people I supervised when I was in the military. I would use a lot of my experiences in situations to tell them how to move and how not to move, especially my young female airmen. My situation from when I joined the military, my first duty station that I went through, I use that as information and tools to guide them. Hey, when you're at parties, watch your drinks. Don't, people that you think are your friends are probably not your friends. Male friends, just because y'all look cool and close doesn't mean something can't happen. So I use a lot of that still to this day on how I interact and talk to people, and, you know, just try to teach them from my experiences. So I do that a lot with my kids, and, you know, you can say it's smothering. I call it mothering. You feel me? But yeah, so that's where we're at. Graduation in less than a month. And then in the fall, off to college to study cybersecurity. I'm excited for him. My daughter will be starting her sophomore year. And then we'll see how the rest of her high school times go. Hopefully I don't have to send her to my mama's house because she get out of line too bad. But, you know, it's all about picking and choosing your battles that are which hills is worth dying on. You know what I mean? Like, I be telling them all the time, like, especially her, because she's very passionate about her thoughts and beliefs, and I appreciate that. I love that for her. But I also have to tell her all the time, you got to pick and choose your battles. Not everything, every cause, everything you believe in is worth fighting and using your voice for. Because at some point, people are going to stop listening to you when you use your voice too often. So you got to pick and choose which ones are worth standing up and speaking on. She just don't get that. You know what I mean? She don't understand that yet. So it'll take time for her to figure that out. It took me time to figure that out, because as a young airman, I thought I had to say something about everything. Everything I didn't agree with. But hold up. Why are we doing this? Yeah, we should. That don't make sense. That's stupid. And I had to have some NCOs sit me down and be like, hey, you got to chill out. Everything you can't say everything about. You can't get on social media and say this and say that. And once I started to figure that out, I was like, okay, let me learn to shut up sometimes. Not everything is worth me arguing and trying to fight the system. The sooner you figure that out, the better off you'll be. But yeah, that it is what it is. But parenting could be the most rewarding thing you ever do in life. I will say that's probably my favorite job of all things, yet also my most challenging job is being a parent. I love my kids. I would do anything for my kids. I will put my life on the line 10 times over. Just like I put my life on the line for this country. You know, it's the same thing. My kids will always be first. I put them before myself all the time. But that's what momhood is, you know. And some people were like, oh, would you have had more? No. 2 is enough. 2 is quite enough. And for those of you out there with one child and you said that's your one child, just stick to that. I concur. Because, whoo, 2 of them, especially close in age, child, anybody that got more than 2, round of applause, because I can't even do it. Because my 2, whoo, and y'all, some of y'all got 4 and 5 and 6. Ain't no way. Couldn't be me. Ain't no way. But yeah, thank y'all for being patient. Thank y'all for coming through and hanging out with me every time that I do post. I know, I'm sorry. We're going to get it together. We're going to get a set schedule of when these podcast episodes are going to roll out. And then we're going to get a set timeline on how everything's going to go. I told y'all, we're going to always make it a point to keep these 30 minutes to 45 minutes max, depending on if I have guests. We do have another guest coming up soon. I can't wait. We're going to have a really good friend of ours. He has been my husband's best friend since childhood. He is a professional gamer and streamer. His name is Joel. I can't wait to have him on. He will be on soon. He's going to be our next guest. He's going to give us a perspective of what it's like to be a professional. Because, you know, my son for the longest, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be a professional gamer and streamer. And if you can do it, and if you can break into that and tap into it, it can be lucrative for you. But also, you got to be somebody that the people want to tune into and follow and listen to and watch you do your thing. Not everybody got that. Not everybody got the personality for that. So a lot of kids out there that may be something you want to do. This will be a great guest to have on for you guys to see and hear from and hear his experiences. But he's been doing it for a long time. And he has a big following. He ain't Casanet big, but he does have a very big following. He's been doing it for a long time. So I'm excited to have Joel on for our next episode. But yeah, we chopped it up last night. Looking forward to having him on and seeing his perspective on what it's like to be a gamer and a streamer. And then just talk about life. Like I said, he's been a part of our family and our dear friend for years. Him and my husband grew up together. And so I can't wait to have Joel on. Other than that, thank you guys again for tuning in, listening to me rant and talk about motherhood. If y'all could say a prayer for my baby child as he goes off to college. And for all the other moms out there that got seniors, I'm praying for you. We gonna get through this together, okay? We gonna get through it together. And good luck to your babies off in their next chapter of life. And to you moms, I'm praying for you because, you know, the struggle is real. Also to the dads out there, because there's single dads out there raising seniors as well. And thinking about y'all too, because I know it just ain't easy for us. Also, before I end this episode, because we're talking about seniors, one of my really good friends, my brother Z, lost one of his babies a few months ago to cancer. And he's also was a senior. He has a set of twins, and so one of the twins passed away from cancer. And I know this walk right now that you're on is a tough walk, especially with one of your babies not being able to be here to graduate. And you sent Lil Z off to prom the other night. He was so handsome. And I know that T was watching him and looking down on him and was right there with him at prom in spirit. So I just want to tell you, brother, I know I've told you 7 billion times now that I love you. I will continue to keep you prayed up for you and Z and the rest of the family Terrence, we love you. Continue to rest in peace, baby. You don't have to struggle no more. The fight's over. Just continue to walk with your dad and your brother, and we'll continue to think of you and keep your name out there. All right, now. That's it. Love, peace, fish grease. I'm mad.